Kind of at the same time as I built my first custom computer, I was kind of thinking like, what other parts is there to that? And it's like you look at your desk and you got your mouse and your keyboard and like your audio. And then I just kind of organically saw custom keyboards, and then I was like, wanted to get into it more. And so then at first, for a couple of years, I was basically just a consumer until I started designing my own, and now here I am.
I got the keyboards in college, so this was 2013. We customized keyboards, so we took the OEM keyboards, your Logitechs, Corsairs, Razors, and swapped switches around, swapped materials around, saw stuff in half to see, if we could make smaller keyboards and that kind of thing. PCB design is something that, it's like this. Designing keyboards is something that's very interesting because it's very technical but very artistic in the same proportion, right? So at the same time that Bowl has designed a keyboard around screw dimensions and tolerances and stuff like that, you also have an artistic vision in mind. You have, if you take a PCB, if you take a PCB of mine, if you take a PCB from AI, Heine, you will see that there definitely is a design language there. You can see that definitely is a, hey, this is a kind of PCB.
If I'm starting a new project, some of the first things I think about is what's kind of the goal. For example, with the Compact Ergo with Gondo, he brought it to me with it's a unique layout. It's never really been done. That whole kind of goal was to bring something new. But then obviously you have the numpad and the knob. Kind of the theme of the board is you're going to use this at your workstation. You want to be able to input your numbers easily. You got your knob, your arrows. Everything's right where you want it, so it's easy to type.
As Bowl said, the idea of Compact Ergo is to bring what we think is a functionality to the Alice layout. The first iteration of the Compact Ergo was Mountain Alice, is what it was called. This designer came to me and said, hey, so I have this keyboard and I want a PCB for it. I'm like, that's cool. So, everything was fine-tuned and crafted to resemble the Alice layout. It's a little bit more usable. The first designer simply poofed out. After pretty much a year of work, I did like 3 versions of the PCB. We had renders, we had vendors, the guy just poofed out. And I'm like, damn. But, I still wanted to make it work, so I contacted another designer, like, hey, okay, so I have the PCB for this is the layout, I need to make this work. And that person also made renders, almost made a prototype, it never came into fruition. This is a very, very, very short version of the story. This time span that I'm telling you is like 3 years. And then after some time, one of the people that was following this project, he was like, hey, I have this designer I know, and he might be looking to do this. That was a user called APM, and then he put me in Bowl and contact, and we made it work. We redesigned it from scratch. Even though there is a huge story there, we still made it ours.
So I was excited about it from the start, especially after hearing the long history. And I think something that should be mentioned is that there's people kind of waiting for it from the start, and they were just trying to follow the project. And so then there's a lot of excitement when we were bringing it back, even just these people that have been waiting. Like Gondo said, 3 years. My Discord server, the span of like 2 days, there's probably 100, 200 new members just for this project. So that kind of motivated us further.
It feels like redemption. It feels like a project that I've been banging on for 4 years now. And heck, it finally came to life, and it is pretty amazing. I am very, very, very happy with what we were able to make, because it's not only about making it happen. It's not only about pushing it out. It's about making something that I'm proud of, making something that I look and I say, people are gonna like this. This is awesome, and I'm proud of this.
I wasn't involved as long as Gondo with it, obviously. He brought it to me like last summer, but I think more the takeaway for me is working with Gondo, how kind of worked together well. And now actually since then, we had, I think, 4 or 5 new PCBs designed with them, and Gondo's just really easy to work with. So kind of the bigger takeaway for me is that seeing the following that was forward. So although I haven't been kind of with it the whole time, being with it now, it's good to see that people are still excited for it and still want to see it happen. And like Gondo said, I want to make sure that everything I work on is something that I would use and I'm proud of. That's why it's just satisfying to see it went from literally PCB, now it's on my desk, and then soon it'll be on other people's desks. So the whole process is just satisfying and it's fulfilling.
It's called the Compact Ergo for 2 reasons. Because of the compact layout, which is kind of the 10 kilos without the nav cluster, and as a wordplay, it's not compact. come on, it's huge.
Gondo likes to funnily put witty quotes on the bottom of all his pieces.
Yeah.
So on the bottom of the Compact Ergo, in quotes, it says, "It's not really compact.
It's not pretty compact, is it?
It's funny, and it's just something you see when you're building it. We've got the Pangea coming also hopefully at the end of the summer. That's another full size with the swappable left or right hand numpad, so that's exciting. That's something Gondo and I work together on. Keep an eye out for that. It's also got a Geek interest checkup. So.
Basically a full-size keyboard that you can swap the numpad out for southpaw numpad even after it's built.
I'm a bars user. I just don't. Something about the scoops, they just don't have the same feedback for me. Like, I find myself just putting my hands all over. Like, I'll have on H or something. I gotta have the bars.
Oh man, I'm going to get people with pitchforks and torches after me. But honestly, I couldn't give less of a concern. You know, whatever works, I just don't guide myself through the scoops or the bars or anything. I never really stopped to think about that. Whatever I find first, I just put on there and it works fine. Right now I have the bars, but this is because the set that I have only had the bars. Sometimes I use the scoops, but you know, I just don't pay much attention to that, I guess. So I can't answer that. I don't have a favorite one. You know, come at me.